Welcome. Monday, frivolity and fun and games. The Plastic Crack podcast on a Monday night as usual. Season, I'm going to look now, season 3, episode 43. Good grief.
Wow.
It's been fun, doesn't it? Hey? And we're joined by the man himself, Paul Hicks. Ably assisted by his assistant there.
Don't make me laugh yet, sods.
That was awesome. Well done. Oh, geez. So welcome, Paul. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Appreciate it hugely. I know a lot of people are very excited. I believe you're only here to get right reply anyway on Andy, aren't you?
Yes, the bounder.
So yeah, he promised to tell us a few stories about the insight into what Andy gets up to. So we'll come to that in a bit later on. So if anybody's
Lily's here.
No, exactly. Well, that's why I thought we'll wait for a bit, and we'll do that in a bit. Let's have a look in the audience before we get going. Oh, good grief, I won't do actually. There's loads of you. So welcome to everybody who's watching, particularly who's watching on the catch up. Ken's dead, so it's all good. If you've got any questions for Paul or the team, please do put them in there, and we'll catch up with everything. So, Paul, welcome. As I say, thank you so much for coming on. I wanted to sort of start with kind of how you got into the hobby, really, I guess, and how you started out in gaming first of all, and then I know you're not a pro. I read somewhere that you're actually no. I start with the thing I read somewhere. I was doing some looking up your background, and I read somewhere on a forum that someone said, "Oh yeah, Paul Hicks. He's one of the 2 top historical sculptors in the country." Cool. And then you kindly pointed out the fact that they were actually showing a picture of a sculpt that wasn't yours, which I thought was absolutely hilarious.
My mum never gets it right.
So how did you start out into the gaming world generally?
Well, I always made models. So like I think the introduction was when I was about 2. My dad, I think, decided that a model railway in the loft would be a suitable
God, you had to say that, didn't you?
Yeah. So
I approve.
And my mum always was interested in art, so always promoted and encouraged me to do artistic things from a very early age. So drawing and art was always something, and making models. So, being a kid of the early 80s, it was model kits were always a present. So, I've always grown up making models. And then I got into, miniatures, figures, basically, like Tamiya figures.
Yeah.
And then from there, when I went to high school, I saw a copy of White Dwarf for the first time, like most people, and I went, wow, this is amazing. And then because I lived in Ealing, and I went to school in Acton, which is only like a stop from Hammersmith, where the first Games Workshop was.
Oh yeah.
So that was like after school, get on a train and go there.
Awesome.
And then, so that's where my enjoyment of wargaming started, really.
But I read again that your interest is in the modelling. It's not so much in the gaming as such. Yeah,
well, I used to do a lot of gaming because I was a manager of a game Games Workshop for a while. So, and then I got into historical wargaming. But I don't have the time or the space. And where I live, there's not many wargamers, if any. I know of one at least at the rugby club, but we don't really talk about it but we don't get to game, and I really don't have the time. But yeah, I sort of took up making models again over lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of where spare time's taken up.
And did I also read that you took up rugby again at the age of some advanced age anyway, and after having not done rugby for years.
35 is an advanced age.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, I took up playing rugby again. I stopped playing when I was about 19 to work for Games Workshop.
Right.
And then I moved to this town to be with some where our friends lived, and then ended up a friend said come down to the rugby club, and I took up playing rugby again and felt like a 12-year-old. So
Awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's made some irreparable damage to my face since then, which some people may think is a bonus, but there you go.
I was more worried about your hands and your fingers from the modelling career. No?
Yeah, well, they're insured, so
That's all right.
there is some weird shapes.
I'm going to say some bent. Yeah, I've same. Yeah. Awesome. So, how did you transition into actually sculpting? I mean, how did that happen from just the joy of making models?
So when I worked at Games Workshop, it was a bit, on a Tuesday, sort of about, on a Tuesday afternoon, no one ever came into a Games Workshop, and you'd be on your own. So, you'd done all the work and there was nothing else to do. Supposedly you were meant to paint miniatures for the store, but I was not the best at doing that, so I probably painted quite a lot of stuff for myself. I feel really bad for saying that, because I feel like I'll get in trouble now.
I think you're safe.
Yeah, I think I'm safe. But then after exhausting all of these sort of Empire models, being a massive Perry's fan, the Empire range, I then would cut up and then sort of make figures that weren't available, sort of musicians for the nightly orders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of grew from just converting to then sculpting pieces, and then sculpting more parts, and sort of going on from there.
Yeah.
And then it just morphs into sculpting more than you're converting, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're doing the traditional using green stuff, but the modelling compound rather than doing it on a computer, are you?
Yeah, because I've always, I think coming from a family, my mum never, didn't really see modern art. So as anything new and in artistic terms was weird. So, everything was very traditional. So I like the idea of seeing something come together in the hand, as opposed to, actually, I don't want to work with a computer all day. That seems like work, as opposed to being able to create something in hand. Well, I'm doing it now. It's sort of something I do when I'm not working. So it's become my retirement, basically. That's how I consider it.
That's a lovely way to go, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, what else? If I wasn't doing this, or if I was not working,
I think you're safe.
Working all day, when I was working, I stopped working with Games Workshop and then worked on a sales counter for a wood flooring company. And when I had a day off, then I was at home making stuff, painting stuff, converting stuff. So, this is what I would do all day if I wasn't working. So
I think all of us feel a bit like that, don't we? It's all sort of relaxation and sort of escapism from the real world. I agree with you, Alex.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. These guys make it sound so easy. Oh, yeah, I just added bits on and fiddled around and it's all good. Yeah, awesome. And but I mean, you must be one of the most. So, okay, so let's move on the stage further. So from sort of just tinkering around and adapting figures and to then be where you are now, probably one of the most prolific freelance sculptors out there. I mean, you work on so many ranges. How did that transition? I mean, that's a big jump.
One of the regulars at Games Workshop, is now the owner of Gripping Beast, and
Okay.
we're good friends with Andy, and he at the time knew that we used to game together, and when he bought Gripping Beast, he just asked me to make the odd figure, have conversions, and he basically gave me the start as a jobbing sculptor to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got me and a guy, Andy Dormer, who goes under the name Soapy. We were asked by Battle Honours USA do their 25mm World War I range,
mm-hmm.
and that was 20 years ago now.
Wow.
And that was the first range, and I was working at the wood flooring company, and I'd worked there for a couple of years, and I said to my parents, this is kind of what I fancy doing. What do you think? And my dad said, well, if it's something you want to do, why not do it? And then it sort of started from there, and then I got
that doesn't sound like most parents, I have to say. Most of them think, knuckle down, young man, and get a proper
Dom's thinking if his daughters come and ask him that, he's just going to go, no.
I need them to keep me in the manner I expect for my retirement, for God's sake. I often do stupid things with toy soldiers. Jeez.
Well, no, I'm very blessed to have two very, very supportive parents. I mean, my dad still to this day doesn't fully understand what I do for a living. So
listen, I've been married 26 years and my wife doesn't understand what I do for a living. I'm not sure most of my bosses know what I do for a living either, to be fair.
That's why you get so much painted.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's part of your contract.
You just exist on payroll. That's
I do, yes. I'm one of those phantom characters on a payroll that knows.
Dom, has this quickly turned into like an employment confession podcast or something?
Yeah, I hope not. I don't want any of my bosses looking at this. Thank you very much. Oh, geez. So so you were still doing the flooring job and started doing the sculpting, and then how quickly did you? Because let's take again step back. How many companies do you kind of do work for?
Well, one of the guys that are really well. So I left the wood flooring company, worked for a bit, then it didn't seem to be going. The sculpting work didn't seem to be paying the bills so much. But just at that same time, the wood flooring company asked me to go back and work part-time, but for full-time wage. And that was like, oh, okay, I can do both things at once. And then me and a friend started up a company that didn't really go anywhere called Bolt Action Miniatures. So we started that up in about 2004, jobbed that round for a bit. And through that, I made contact with Brigade Games in the US, and I've been Lon at Brigade Games has been one of my best customers since then, basically. And through him, he basically gave me the opportunity to leave the wood flooring company for good and never look back, basically.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's very fortunate and very it's very.
Paul, I think I may have the Bolt Action Miniatures. I think I may have actually bought some of them. Did you do like a British Commando set?
Yes, we did. Well, very early on, we did some commandos.
Yeah,
not that many, I don't think. It was. I think we sold it back in 2009 to Warlord, so it was quite a long time ago.
I think it must have been about 2004, 2005 when I bought these. I bought two sets. There was a British Commando set, and it was a set of late war Germans as well.
I think we did some. Yeah, we definitely did some late war. Yeah, we did late war Germans, some SS, some Fallschirmjäger, and we did Brits and British paras and American paratroopers and Italians we had done as well.
No, because I bought these for, it was a game called USSR, Ultra Simple Skirmish Rules.
Yeah, that's the little rules that we had. Yeah.
It's all coming back to me now. That's uncanny. That it really is.
Yeah, no, that was me and my mate Simon. We used to just take them around, go to shows. It was we had some great fun with it.
We played a few games of that, and what I liked about it was that you weren't exactly facing each other. You both had missions.
Yes.
And you both had, and if you happened to get into combat, you had a firefight, but the aim was to complete your mission. It was a really, really. I've got the rules knocking around, so I have to dig that out and have a few games.
I'll tell you what, Simon's, I think he's after a set of those. So
all right. I'll have a dig around. I've not seen it. It was only a little sort of A3.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
not A3, A5 booklet. That I picked up the same time as these figures. My God, that is really, really uncanny.
You don't chuck anything away, Steve. So you
that's what I was
definitely
about to say. It'll be there somewhere, Steve.
It'll be there somewhere.
Lucky it hasn't been kit bashed into something by now. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, good grief. So, but primarily your work is historical, isn't it? You don't do any kind of fantasy stuff, and is it primarily sort of World War I onwards? Is that your particular interest?
No, it's all types. Because for Brigade, I've done obviously a lot of American subjects for Brigade. So I'm doing for them at the moment a sort of a combination of War of 1812 and American War of Independence stuff for them, and looking to take that into American Civil War as well, and a bit of so that's something I'm really interested in getting done, because that was one of the last sort of wargaming things I did was American Civil War. So I'm looking forward to. I have done some fancy stuff for Westphalian Miniatures quite a few years ago now, but yeah, it's primarily historical stuff. But we'll see. It might change.
Oh yeah, people have corrected me with the Baron War stuff. Yeah, how can we
don't
forget
you
that?
Don't you own every single Baron's War miniature, Dom?
I was going to say, I think pretty much. I think most historical gamers will have at least one set of Paul's miniatures in their collection somewhere along the lines. I'm sure, and I think I've got some of those Brigade Games AWI figures as well. So I've got quite a few. Yay, Baron Wars. No, we're not starting that one. Thank you very much, James. No, we're not.
It should be it should be Baron Wars. Or something
it should be
that.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. I thought Ken was about to say something important. He's just sneezing. That's like, oh dear. Let's give Paul a minute just to continue with his modelling, and we'll take a breather and maybe just sort of run through some of the stuff that we've all been working on this week, shall we?
All right.
Cool.
How about that? Martin, do you want to start? What have you been up to, mate?
No, go to someone else.
All right. Steve, what have you been up to, mate?
All my photos have just disappeared.
Oh, not again.
Really?
No, it's done. It's just done that thing. It's all right. I'll have it done in a second.
All right, Steve, what have you been up to, mate? You've been skeletons again, haven't you?
I've been knocking around with the undead again.
I'm not happy with you, Steve. I'm not happy.
Knocking around, you're just like
because
a night
this
out.
This is 2 weeks on a trot now. You've done skeletons, right? And I have not seen one Skeletor anywhere. I am not happy.
I'm trying to find that. In fact, the Masters of the Universe box. That's going to be my Christmas present to myself this year.
It's so good. We played it again this week. It's so much fun.
I just want to play it.
It's so much fun. Although Lockjaw did kill He-Man and Men at Arms by sniping across the board. Something's definitely gone wrong in our our version.
Yeah, good stuff. What have we been up to? So I've been building some more skeletons. So for this time, it was a unit of 8 spearmen, which we have here.
They do look good.
Nice.
Oh, nice, dude.
As you can see,
Where's the shield transfers from, Steve?
they come in the box.
You should have told him you hand painted them. Why didn't you?
No, they're ancient Greek decals. I think they must have just bunged that in there. Yeah, Paul, they're still mocking me.
They're so Ray. I love them because it just screams Ray Harryhausen. I love it.
As you'll see,
awesome.
their feet and ankles are cunningly hidden by clump foliage.
Are you sure they've got feet and ankles?
Here's the thing, Paul. Why would so one of the last 2 jokes about those models is the feet are separate. Why would a sculptor do that other than to really annoy people? Why would that happen?
What, especially on skeletons? I mean,
Yeah.
There's someone with a hate.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
I've looked at it from several angles. I've come to one concrete answer: sadism. That's the only thing I can actually think of.
Which ones are they?
They're the sold by Warlord Games as part of the Warlords of Erewhon range, but I think it's the War Games factory made them.
Yeah, I think I think they'll be the War Games factory ones.
Yeah, so I think it's quite an old kit, but I mean the rest of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, when they're built half-assed as I do them, but when they're painted up, they paint it really easy. They look nice. They've got that Jason and the Argonauts, Harryhausen look that I absolutely love. But it's just the construction. It's like 95% construction, 5% painting, and then added 100% swearing all the way through. Without repeating myself ever. I'm just inventing fresh swear words constantly. But they paint really well. They're dead simple. And they've just got that classic undead vibe. However, the next thing I worked on was from Mantic, and it was their it's called the Balefire skull throwing catapult or something. But
nice. Now that looks a little bit like Skeletor. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's a bit of colour in there.
It's a bit of colour.
And it's probably one of the first Mantic kits that I've ever worked on, and I enjoyed it.
You don't normally get those, do you?
No, I just really fancied a catapult, and I just built it over 2 nights. It was such a lovely kit, great sculpt, really crisp, painted it really well, and I just enjoyed it. It was really, really good. So yes, all plastic. Yeah, I am 12 skellies away from completing the entire warband. So I built 6 this afternoon, went for a lie down for an hour to recover.
That's when he's going to find he's only got 11 pairs of feet.
Yeah. Had some Vimto.
The old Citadel skeleton horde in there.
I've had a look on eBay, and I think you need to sell a kidney to be able to afford them. They're really, really. I was trying to find the old Citadel chariots, the undead chariot.
My god, yeah.
And do you know what? It would have been easy to find the golden fleece from Jason the Argonauts and try and track one of those down.
You should have asked me about 2 years ago. I had 8 of them, and I sold them.
I may have one. You mean the one that's entirely bone? You mean the one that's entirely bone?
Bone ones.
I may have one because I think I've got that, and I've got the metal black coach as well.
I was looking at the Mantic do some chariots, but it's the ones that sort of based around ancient Egypt, and it doesn't really do it for me.
You should get the Victrix. You should get the Victrix one. Get the Boudica on there and just swap her head for a skull head. You could have skeleton Boudica on a chariot.
That's an idea. That's actually an idea. But that's what I've been doing. So it's more skeletons this week. I'm painting skeletons tonight. And I'll probably be swearing a lot towards the end of the week. But I think
Alex is overthinking things, mate. I think just go back to historical, mate. Just don't worry about it. Skeletons walking. That's all you need to know.
That's the only thing. They walk. That's what they do.
Without any feet.
Or muscles.
Steve's point.
Or muscles, yes.
Well, Robin suggested just sticking them directly into the clump foliage, cut out the middleman and the swearing. Just get the feet and the ankles out of the equation. Just stick them.
Or get some of that lovely mud stuff and put it in that.
But Steve will know. Steve will know.
Sorry,
Paul. What did you say?
You do them in various stages of coming out of the ground.
Yeah, there is one, and you put it on a base and he's crawling out. I was going to put that as part of the skeleton crew for the catapult, but yeah, so I've got to look for a catapult and some cavalry, and having seen Travis's undead on his latest battle report, I want to get either a Cyclops or a carrion beast as well, because that Cyclops just looks so awesome. But yeah, another week of the undead for me.
Oh, nice, Steve.
What's the command structure of skeletons? The more metatarsals you have, the higher the rank. Again, I think you're just overthinking these things. What about you, Ken? What have you been up to apart from being ill? You done anything?
Yeah. Well, apart from being ill, yeah.
He's only been ill today.
Yeah, I know.
No,
he's
I
making
was
the
ill.
most of it.
Yeah. I've been ill all weekend, but yeah, fair enough. But no, for me, I've been. I hate you lot.
Very sympathetic around here.
Yes, we are. Yes, right. So obviously, I've been printing. I've been 3D printing.
Of course.
Yeah, of course I have. But the thing I have been 3D printing, which I'm very pleased about, is for the fins, and it's primed and ready to go. I haven't got a picture of it, but I'll show you up close. And it is a T28 for the fins.
That's very good. Very nice.
Hey, that does look very nice.
Yeah, it's not. It's still getting my head in there, which is really annoying because it's picking that up as the main subject. There you go. It's disappearing my head.
That great ginger lump is the problem.
There you go. Probably see the detail now. Probably a bit better. But yes.
No, it does look. It looks. It looks
very crisp.
Yes.
It is very crisp. I also have found this
3D being mentioned. It's now everyone's got a drink.
God,
yeah, everyone drink. Right. Also, Rogue Trader.
Right. Yeah, when you sent that in the group chat, it gave me goosebumps. It took me back to a simpler time.
A simpler time. Yeah. A simpler time.
Not for together wasn't a simpler time.
No. It was the time with the two-part epoxy resin sticking those together.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hope.
I've also printed a miniature for a friend who's asked me something for Christmas for his wife. So happy days. But I'm just painting Sanguinius at the moment.
Legally distinct Sanguinius.
He's a vampire lord that
is wearing space armor.
He's wearing space armor. Yes, that's the best way to put him.
Can you just call him Nigel or something?
Yeah, you know what, Steve? Do you know what, Steve? From now on, he shall be known as Nigel.
There we go. Brilliant.
I'm gonna call him Nigel. Do you know what? I'm gonna refer to all my vampire space people as Nigel. There you go. There you are. You heard it here first. So but that's what I'm doing. I'm painting out. Oh yeah, and I also painted up this death.
A miniature for his wife. That's a hell of a swap. It's true, John. It is.
Yes.
Depends Nigel. What the wife looks like, really.
Yeah. I painted up a Nigel as well. So yes.
Excellent. What's your view on 3D printers then, Paul? How are you feeling about the future of the sculpting hobby? As you
well, suffering from mild anxiety does worry me every now and again. I seem to be busier than ever. I see I can see the appeal of it. It's you don't have to mail order them. They're there for you. I'm not sure about some digital sculpting I think is amazing, and some I'm not so sure of.
I agree with that. Some of it is very amazing, yeah.
If you sort of watch some YouTube channels, they'll say it's the be all and end all of gaming now. But I don't know. I can see its appeal, but it's something I'm not. It's not compatible with what I do at the moment, but I'm sure there is a way we can get what I do digitally downloadable. We're looking into it for sure. It's something we want to.
Yeah.
But I'm not. The problem is, like I've said, that this is how I want to work. And I don't want to work on a computer.
You don't want to sit on a computer and do it. No.
Yeah.
No. But there must be a way either to scan it in some way, to do a physical print and scan it in some way to do it, I would imagine.
Yeah, because I always find there is, if you could, I feel that you put something into the miniature when I'm sculpting them.
Mm-hmm.
So the enthusiasm goes into it. And I think that will be gone if I have to use a computer, because then I haven't got bits that I can just cut up and stick and then fill and have fun, as opposed to I'll smooth that slightly,
just smooth that bit out.
Yeah.
See, that's what I said the other week when we were talking about it, and we were talking because I do a lot of kit bashing for my bolt action stuff.
Yeah,
and for me, I said this to Ken: what if I could just go on and print what I wanted? Without it would make the process really dull. I love rooting through bits boxes and through sprues and experimenting and trial and error. Does this work? How does this look like? And then like whooping in delight when something works.
Yeah.
But if I was to just be able to go, right, I want an arm in that position, do a bit of CAD, print it, the arms there. Yeah. For me, I don't think that there's no fun there for me. There's no enjoyment. It's a bit cold.
Yeah,
maybe that's just me. I don't know, but it's just the way I feel about bits and pieces. With kit bashing, that it's the challenge of being able to make something fit, to make something look natural, like it isn't a kit bash, like it's a kit or a figure off the shelf. But I know what's gone into it, and I know that I've spent 4 hours under my desk. Rummaging
I don't know what you did for 4 hours.
Rummaging through under my desk, through bits boxes and old spares, old sprues, and I think that for me is a part of the hobby I hope I never lose. I really do enjoy that part of it.
I mean, I can remember going to sort of modelling exhibitions with my dad, and model railway exhibitions with my dad, and sort of seeing. Sorry, I just move the camera. Seeing stuff people have made, made like a tank or just out of plastic cards. And when we first, Empress used him. Now when we used him when we had bolt action, and that's Ian Armstrong, who doesn't use digital sculpting. He makes everything from hand, from drawings, and that to me is like the ultimate. He made the 88mm German anti-tank gun that we sold, and Empress Miniatures and Warlord Games. I don't think they sell it anymore because I think they sell the plastic one. But it was flawless. It was a piece of art, And I seem to think I kind of appreciate that someone's whittled that out of a piece of plastic than CAD. But then there's the guy that does the stuff for Empress at the moment. The stuff he produces is also really good as well. So I can see the benefits from both sides, but I do kind of appreciate a hand produced, or I can see the workmanship involved in it.
Yeah.
I guess it's there's room in the hobby for both approaches, right? There's a certain ease and speed, I guess, and certainly in terms of delivery of the 3D prints. But as you say, that sort of nice look of a figure that's been sculpted, somebody spent a long time with a sculpting tool, and you can almost see the scratches on it. It's fantastic. I think that's perfect. But
I just think there's if you do watch some things on YouTube, you do think that it is the death nail to the hand stuff, but I don't think so.
No,
I think a lot of the time that's just people going after the YouTube algorithm, trying to get popular, and get into the controversy. I just think, but there is a lot of, like I say, doom and gloom stories, but I don't know.
Nobody around here would do that, Steve, would they?
But you see it. I don't know if it's just me, but you see a lot of companies where they offer loads of STL files as a Patreon, and it just seems like they're starting to undercut each other.
I'm intrigued with some of the more established companies now that are doing it. Like Aventine have just said they're going to start doing it, and I they've said they're doing 3D prints now.
Yeah. Wow.
You know,
so Wargames Atlantic kicked it off, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say they kicked it off, but they certainly are. I mean,
from the big boys. Yeah.
The fantasy guys have really led the way, haven't they? And then I think you look at Wargames Atlantic and what they've done with their subscription. Although interestingly, all their founder member things didn't sell out, so maybe there isn't quite the appetite that they thought there was for it. I don't know.
Well, I can remember when the Perrys released their first box of plastic miniatures, and everyone said, "My God, this is the end of us metal miniatures." And I sort of thought, I can't remember when I was speaking to him. I said, "This is like a golden opportunity because someone is now gone and done all your hard work." So if you want to do Napoleonics, you don't have to do French line infantry, British line infantry. You can do all the fun stuff.
Yeah. You
don't have to do it now because someone's already done it for you.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And it's, I mean, I'm old enough. I remember doing Down the Club and then having plastic figures for this first time. And, it was almost like the world had come to an end. It was like, God, the plastic figures. It was the same when everyone changed from enamel to acrylic paints. It was the same sort of thing.
Dom, was it like Eric Bob Dylan and his electric guitar? Was it that kind of moment?
I wouldn't say it was quite that, almost. But yeah, it's a funny old thing, isn't it? As Alex said, it's just another tool in the box, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
I think it is. It is. It absolutely is.
Just seen Alex's last comment as well.
British Napoleon are fun. Yeah. I think, personally, I think there's always room for all options. There you go. What about you, Martin? What have you been up to, mate? Are we allowed to come to you now?
No, I've had it. So what have I been doing? So I had a game of English Civil War Pike and Shot against Miller and Robin, but it wasn't decided until like about 2 seconds before we kicked off which side Robin was going to be on, and then he decided he wanted to be on Miller's side. That's a picture from,
well, do they?
from the high point of the game when all the pike blocks started smashing into each other. It was a really, really good game. I've got to edit it together, but it's one of those ones where I had a couple of camera problems and I ran out of storage like close to the end. So I had to quickly download loads of the footage and then create some room. So it was a bit of a nightmare near the end, but it was a very, very good game. There are explosions of cannons in there, but I'm not going to say whose.
And called Lucky by any chance?
And no, it was just good fun. It was actually Miller. I got to give Miller the credit. He sort of came up with an idea for a scenario, and then from that we kind of like developed it a little bit and then put the board together. And then there you go. So there's my good old royalist pike block smashing it. I can't even remember the name of the parliamentarian that they're trying to skewer. That was good fun. But on the painting front, I finished my unit of Blackguard. Now I think it was last week that I posted up a picture and I'd done like the front 3 bases. And my plan at the time, like I know in the comments a couple of people didn't quite get what I meant, but I was going to use the rest of the box to make a large unit by just changing the formation. So I've done that. So that's what they look like from the front. So I did this kind of horseshoe thing to try to make them look a bit more sort of ordered and large. And I use that guy at the back standing on the rock as if he's come on. So from the top, they look like that. So they're actually sort of receiving the charge. So that was these are the Fireforge Blackguard. I picked these up at Warfare. And I really like them. I know some people just said that they didn't.
Yeah,
but I like them.
They got a right of roasting it from people. They look really good.
No, I think together that they look absolutely fine. I don't want this was the thing. Like for a big unit like that, I don't really want to have to spend 4 hours painting each individual miniature. I knocked that lot out quite quickly. But I'm now quite tempted to do another unit exactly the same and then stick it on the back, so it's a complete. So I can have like but it was just like because there was 25 of them in the box, and I was like, how can I stretch this into for a bigger footprint? Because I'm using them primarily for Hail Caesar. or Deus Vault, it's not the number of figures on the base that matters, it's the size of the unit. So if I can stretch this out a little bit, and I thought that looked cool, like these two guys running forward to kind of take position in the shield wall, and then the guy standing there obviously commanding. So that was a lot of fun to do. But I'm now out of those bases, so I need to send Simon a massive order because I've run out. I also need lots of magnets. But then I finished a 3D model, which not one that I printed, one that I got of Graham, which is from Reconquer. There he is. So that's I can't remember. It's like, I think it's meant to be the Bishop of Valencia from his Reconquer stuff. I've done him up as Robert Curtos, Robert II in Normandy, the son of William the Conqueror. I just liked that model, so I was like, right, so I'm going to get him. And then I added some plastic bits and bobs from other things. So I've got some Victrix pieces on there. He's got a Victrix shield and little big men transfers, and then Perry arrows and some other Perry bits on there. And then the casualty figure is also a Reconquer miniature with the downed horse. Really so good, I just I like it like he's been. The Seldrics have done that thing where they ride around them from the side, loosed a load of arrows, and he's turning the horse to go after him. So he was a lot of fun to do, and I'll be doing. Thank you very much. Yeah, and there is a video update if you want to go and see where I did the update, and I realised I've been yakking for 35 minutes, and it turned into a part history video as well. So I didn't quite mean that to happen, but they're a lot of fun. But yeah, with the 3D printing, because he's a 3D print. Matt Cross, who does these ones, I take the really kind of middling view. Is I'm going to take all the bits I like for 3D printing and then add them to my traditionally sculpted armies and just take what I want from everything to
you just want it all, don't you? Basically, yeah.
Basically, yeah. Pretty much. That's what I'll do. I'll because the thing is, there's some stuff that I want, especially with my Seldric armies, that there aren't any plastic kits or metal kits for those, or enough. So we say enough metal kits for me to do massive units. So printing those models at the back, which I could just fill in units with, is going to be quite easy. And then I can put the nice hand sculpted ones at the front, doing so they can be seen. So yeah. Oh no, I take a very middling. Even this one behind me now, I've been printing is calibration things, trying to work out how to not ruin models. Which I managed. I tried to print a tent off during the week, and it came out looking odd, really, really odd, like a helter skelter.
That's the way people are going to end up doing it, aren't they? They're just going to take. As they've always done, is take the bits like you've done for every element and enjoy it.
I think, yeah, that's it. I mean, I think still the hands, if you look at sort of skirmish style gaming, which is a lot more popular at the moment, I'd say. If you take something like the Baron's War and you look at the Baron's War starter sets that Footsore have, which is like 25 models. Yes, you could 3D print those, but you can just go to the shop. You can get that; it's there. You have to go. If not, you're going to go source the files. You've got to find someone to print them, or buy a 3D printer to print them yourself. And the whole economy of it starts to it's a bit of a false economy. Plus the cost of different resins. But if you're using it, because I'd quite like to print off quite a lot of terrain on this thing. Yeah. Not massive. Well, to be fair, I did back that Kickstarter where I can basically print Jerusalem. That was the plan anyway. that was the plan. And then I put one of the files onto the free file that they gave onto the slicer. And I looked at how much resin it was going to use. I was like, yeah, no, I need to find someone with an FDM printer to do this.
That's the problem with those big
yeah, exactly. So, little things would be cool. But, yeah, that's what I've been up to, and it's been bloody good fun. What's that? Drink. Okay.
We're back on the 3D. Every time someone mentions 3D, they're having a little drinking thing. Oh, dear. The viewership's gone downhill. Look who's here. So Andy Hobday's arrived.
Oh, God.
It's a very dapper looking Andy Hobday.
It certainly is. He didn't look that smart when he came on, did he?
No,
I don't know. It's a plastic crack. Plastic cracks become a black tie event.
There you go.
It's in a couple of weeks. We've got the award show.
That's true. That reminds me. You've got another 24 hours if you want to enter the awards.
I knew he was going to pop. Do you know what? I thought he hasn't popped up. I'm going to put up my picture of my pike block because he isn't bloody here, and I'll get away with it. It wasn't 25. There was 37. All right, quiet.
You only had 25
Oh,
minutes.
No, I had 25 on the Black Guard miniature, but I never claimed they were a pike block. the actual pike block only had 27 on it. Right, Andy. I will just say I was on one of Yarkshire's videos, enjoying his comment section where there was a good back and forth going on.
Awesome. Oh, blimey. Well, I'm gonna discuss Ken even more with my pike block, because where is it here? There you go. There's 8 of them. It's just 8 of them.
He's twitching now. Can I just say, sorry? Do you remember that last week? Sorry to visit, where you mentioned?
Oh, I wound up.
You wound up Miller, right? About the fact that in Saga, pike armed units get to use the short range attack. That went on like all through the battle. Like that, him and Robin just carried on all through the game about it, and he still won't have it. And then he was later, was like, "What are you gonna do? Attach rockets to them?" Like, he's not having it. He's just not having it.
Absolutely love it. Oh, geez. Yeah. So I continue with my Saga army because I've got a game coming up. So that's another point of pike done, and the point of levy bowman. They're finished.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Very cool.
And
what models are
they? These ones are front rank. No, they're first corps. First corps. And then these are Gripping Beast, I think. There's some cataphracts, which I was really pleased with. I did them gaudy again. I've gone really gaudy with this army because I just fancied it. And a Snelly. You've got to have a Snelly in the army, haven't you? So that's really
cool. That one.
There's a new one coming, isn't there, from V&V?
There is. We'll get onto that in a bit. Yeah. So that's my current Saga army. There you go. So it's
very nice. I like it how you put all the pikes together just to keep Yorkshire Ken happy.
It makes me feel it makes me feel better about them actually being a pike block.
No, I can.
He's quite chip.
I imagine Ken's grumbling in Northern as we speak.
He's still moaning about that Typhoon.
He still is. And then I showed this on the Facebook page, but last week on the stream, I finished this fella off. So this is Sarissa
in lovely Neville livery. Thank you. That's I appreciate it.
There you go. So that was fun to do. I quite enjoyed doing that. I'm not sure how I'm going to. Leslie, amongst others, got very excited about was I going to do crew and stuff like that. No, it's going to be a piece of terrain. It's just going to sit on the edge of the table.
I know you've got this in the photos to come, but there's a certain digital sculptor who's sculpted people climbing up ladders. Could you have them going up the rigging?
Funny enough, I did think that after that.
You would then have to make the rigging.
Exactly, and I'm not going to do that.
Could you just get some? Couldn't you just get some fishnet tights and stretch them?
I'm not going to.
I don't. Right,
thank you. I'm not even going to go there.
Oh, I bet you went to Rocky Horror when you were.
I did actually. Yeah, it was my uni thing. That reminds me of the comment somebody made earlier on about them sitting with their wife, hearing that story about Ken's story.
Yeah, he's not allowed to mention it.
And then he said, "Don't read it out."
That's right. So I've just mentioned it now. Anyway, there we go. That was that. So that's what we've all been up to. Now, Paul, you sent me some pictures of some of your recent work. Now, some of this I think I recognise. If I can find it, just let me bring it up. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Is this the Empress range stuff you're working on?
Yeah. This is the up and coming Kickstarter I'm doing with Empress Miniatures. So we're going to do British airborne. So it's not technically not Paris. So it could be air landing for Market Garden. But we're looking to give it that sort of not. They haven't just landed. This is maybe 2-3 days into the battle itself. So they're not going to be completely uniformed. There'll be bits hanging off of them and stuff like that. That's what we're looking for.
They do look absolutely amazing.
Thank
I
you.
really, really like them. I really do.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, no, it's something I did a few years ago when we had Bolt Action, and hadn't had a chance, and it thought it would be a good one. We did originally think to do Soviets, but unfortunately we didn't think that might be a good idea at the present time. So
No.
Did they do
Agreed.
when a range like comes up? Is that something that you'd wanted to work on, or did Empress approach you and say, "Well, we've got this idea"?
We kind of said Soviets, and we sort of said that we were going to do a Kickstarter, but and I was like, oh, what about paratroop? What about an Arnhem range? And Paul thought, yeah, that's a great idea, because people have asked him for paratroopers, and paratroopers have been pretty much done by most companies have got a range of paratroopers somewhere. And we wanted a different angle to the range, and add something. So if we're not asking people to buy a whole new range of paratroopers. If they've got some already, it can be added into what they've already got.
They'd be also really nice for, what I'm going to say, because these guys 0 to 100 hours, which we're playing a lot of. They would be really nice for something like that as well. I know, as obviously you only need like about 10 models for that, but they would look wicked on that.
Oh, thank you.
Look awesome.
Nah, they are nice. Paul. I really like how you've done the rifles as well. Sometimes they can seem a bit out of proportion, but they look really, really good.
Well, they're again by Ian Armstrong, the plastic wizard. He's done all the weapons for them. So yeah,
they do look amazingly good.
They do.
Like that.
Just look at the detail on the third guy on the from the right. Just look at his face.
Yeah.
It's just
For me, it's awesome. the helmet straps being unloosed. It's just there's just something about them. Look, they just are.
Well, you can't have them, Steve, because they're metal, and Ken can't have them because they're not 3D prints. So sorry.
Can I have them?
Yes, you're allowed them, and I'm allowed them. So.
Dom, I think in this case, I'd be willing to make an exception to my rule, because they would look really, really good. It's not very often, but yeah. As soon as to be fair, to be honest, the first time I saw them, I was like, they look really rather nice.
Yeah, I mean they look better in the flesh. I mean those are kind of the photos I send to people just as proof of the work's been done. So that's they're just the rough look. I've done the work. Can you pay the invoice, please? Sort of pictures, which isn't the case with these ones, because it's a Kickstarter, so we're hoping it will go well, so I can get paid. But sometimes they end up as the promotional photos, which I always find the figures look better in the flesh, and when someone takes a better photo than I do.
Yeah. But they look damn good already, I have to say.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
And that's, I presume, some more futsal stuff that you're working on.
That figure was I ran a raffle earlier this year to win a sculpt, and that was the winner was Ben McIntyre, and that's his the figure he wanted was for his Baron's War retinue. So that was the figure I made for him. So that one's just been finished.
Oh, nice. Oh, and
that's
some work in progress on the £6-pounder, is it?
Yeah, and I'm working from there's a famous photo of a £6-pounder crew at Arnhem, so that's what I'm working from. Because the beauty, obviously, with working with anything from like the 1840s, 50s, 60s upwards is that there's there's photographs, which give you a great sort of step in the right direction for what kit should look like.
And those are
colonial Colonial Marines for Brigade Games. They are for the War of 1812. Now, these are an interesting unit. They're were formed by, I think it's Lord Cochrane, Admiral Cochrane, and they are freed or slaves that made their way to a Royal Navy ship and were given instantly emancipated. That's the right word, yeah. And were given the opportunity to then fight the Americans in the Colonial Marine, which is these guys. So they're really interesting, and their descendants now live in Trinidad apparently, and are known as what are they known as? Americans or something. It's a certain part of Trinidad that descends from these Colonial Marines.
Oh wow.
That's really cool. When you do something like this and people approach you, what kind of reference, if assuming it's an area that you don't know about, how much stuff do you ask for in terms of like references, or do they just ask for as much as possible? Do people just send you loads, or do you go and do your own research into what you've been asked to sculpt?
Well, those were Lon at Brigade just sent me a picture. There's a reenactor in the, I think it's either Canadian or American, who he doesn't reenact, but he kind of does the living history of the Colonial Marine. So it's like checked out his page, an African American guy, and had the kit, and then found a couple of line drawings, and that's basically all I had to go on for those guys. There is an element of you can try and dig really into it, but then sometimes you have to then realize, well, if I can't find it and I'm really digging, it's either it's not there, and I'm not trying to cut corners, but if I can't find it, I'm gonna have to sort of look for something similar and work from that.
You can use an artistic license, can't you? If you can't.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I do find most of my time is trying to find out what the back side of soldiers look like. I wish I would do a range of books that just this is what they look from the back.
Yeah.
You had to say that just at the moment where we got the sex lines come up on the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're back. Yeah, there it is.
They're back again. Oh, dear
Paul,
God.
Paul, with regards to the research, have you ever had a brief or something where you've just come up against a brick wall, historical wise, where you think there's no contemporary or source material for this?
Not really, because I think most wargamers want to reproduce something that is out there, isn't that's known. So there's always a reference to something. I mean, there might be they vaguely wore such and such uniform, but most of my customers will come to me with a brief of what they should be wearing. So that's not normally an issue.
All right.
We asked the Perrys. I've asked this now, and when the Perrys are on, and when a couple of the others have been on, is there anything that you can tell us where someone's asked you to sculpt something and you've just gone no, just because either you didn't want to or you just thought I can't do that because of taste or decency that you're allowed to do. I don't know why I said decency. I can't remember because the Perrys said someone actually wanted them to be like a
concentration camp, wasn't it? That was the one.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah. When we first had Bolt Action, we went to a show in Europe, Crisis. Someone did ask why don't we do who are the really like this? Obviously, all of the SS and nasty gears.
Oh, not the Derlevanger.
Yeah, them.
Yeah.
Why don't you do, like, No, and then
No.
at Salute one year, somebody came up, and an English guy goes, "Why don't you make a picture of this hero?" And it was like Joachim Piper, a T-shirt. You had a Joachim Piper. It's like, no, yeah, no, thank you.
I fancy getting work in the future.
Yeah. God. So,
Yeah.
I mean, typically, how long does it take when someone comes to you with a commission like that? How long does it usually take you to take that concept and then actually deliver the design and the figure that they can then mold?
It depends. I mean, it's tricky to say because now I would kind of work with a set group of people that, you know, they tell me what they want by a certain time, and I have to sort of try and fit it in. You know, and it can, within a week, I can start having, you know, sort of maybe 8 figures ready to go.
Wow.
But it depends. I mean, if it's like doing a few, you know, the concept of doing a dolly, so it's like yeah. So I would normally start off and do a set of dollies, or and then they'll get cast up, then come back, and then it can speed up. Yeah,
that's pretty quick.
It can be quick. Sometimes it can be. So I always find when I'm doing a range for the first time, the first 4 figures that I do will take a lot longer to produce than, because I might be one day doing Indian Mutiny, and then the next week it will be Second World War. So I need to be in a bit of an adjustment period until I feel comfortable in the period, and away we go again. Yes.
So talking about the periods, because you mentioned different. You're a machine, apparently. There you go.
Well,
you need to tell us the story now about what Andy's like. So, what's he like to work with?
Have you met him in for real?
No.
He's not like Mr. You know, Mr. Nice at all. No.
He obviously straight arms you, or puts your arm behind your back to get you to do lots of work for him. That's all I can see. The amount of figures they seem to turn out.
Barron's Wars, you know, is a combination, and it's not just him giving me a long list. It is, but we could do this, we could do that, and it is a kind of a list that we end up coming together. And once the beauty, you know, the thing with Barron's War is you know, especially doing like the Robin Hood stuff and that. Once you get into it, you can sort of no, it's not uniform, so there's a little bit of a flow, and you know, once you get started, it's hard to stop producing, you know. So the list does evolve as we write it, but it's not a chore. It's good fun.
I'm gonna probably, because I know we've got a bunch of starred comments that Dom's been doing, on which we can put them up. So I'm gonna preempt a question. Is there a period that you're asked to sculpt for that you would say that is your favorite period to sculpt for, such as World War II or the Barons' Wars? Is there one that, I mean, I know Andy's in the chat, so is this where someone comes to you like, yes, that's your preferred period? Not to say your preferred, but one that you really, really enjoy a little
comfort zone.
No, not really. I enjoy all the periods. Probably I'm not really a history buff. I know it sounds bizarre, but I kind of like the aesthetics of history. I like what it should look like. So it's kind of weird. So if you ask me what did such and such do at a certain battle, I wouldn't be able to really tell you off the top of my head. I might be able to tell you what they look like, or what kit they should be wearing. I'm sort of quite an equipment geek, so I'd like to make sure they're wearing as you would want them to be wearing the right kit. So I'd like all of that, and I like them to look how I think they should look.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not, the heroic style is a style that is good, but it's not my style. So I like them. So if I do something that's 20th century, I'll look at a lot of photos and try and make them look like the photos, as opposed to a comic interpretation. I don't mean comic as in a comedy, as in like Warlords comics or Commando comics, that sort of look.
Yeah, got you.
Have you done a lot of moderns then, Paul? You've done a lot of modern stuff?
Moderns I'm not a fan of. I think that's a bit too close for me. I'm not a big fan of mod. It just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me really.
I feel much the same myself.
Yeah. Vietnam, I did the stuff for Vietnam for Empress Miniatures, and that's as modern as I kind of envisage, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
so
that
you're sorry, carry on.
No, that was really heavily influenced by that Ken Burns documentary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anything he does is, I'll stick that on while I'm sculpting. So as soon as I do the American Civil War stuff, I'll be hitting up the Civil War.
Awesome.
If I could recommend any historical documentary, it'd be the American Civil War by Ken Burns. It's just absolutely phenomenal. Really good.
Amazing.
Can I preempt another question? It just seemed like a sensible. Is there a period? I understand how busy you are. Is there a period that you fancy that you've never had to go at, and you fancy sculpting that just you haven't had the opportunity to, or a client hasn't come along to ask you to do it, or you haven't just had the time because you're so busy to do? Is there something that you'd like to have a go at?
Yeah, and then American Civil War, and it's coming up.
Fantastic.
So, that's the one. Hopefully he wants. He did say, hopefully. So we've got some American War of Independence and some Plains War stuff. So that should that should dovetail into it as well.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I need to get that underway. So I need to start doing that pretty soon, actually.
Awesome. Shall we give Paul another quick break, and we'll do some news, and then we'll go back and ask some of the questions that I've been busy starring away with people.
See, Nick, you need to rewind the stream about 20 minutes, mate.
Yeah, we're not going to go back on that one again because everyone will start drinking again, and that's a really bad thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's Monday.
Actually, it's true. It's Monday. You've got to drink on a Monday to survive a Monday, haven't you? News. Let's do some news. Ben, you're going to play the musical announcement thing.
That's the ill news.
Oh my
the
God.
Ill news.
Well, do you want to take some? You take some of those, Martin, because I loaded them all.
All
up,
right. You did. I think maybe I don't know why we don't talk to each other about the news.
We never do we? It's always
we never do. We just upload it. Well, I'll start with the ones that did make me slightly excited because I was talking to my wife about what age am I allowed to show my daughter Gremlins because she's 6, right? And I think that I'm sure I watched that when I was like 6 or 7. I swear to God, right? And then I just was like, oh, has anyone done Gremlins? And Crooked Dice, genuinely, in the last week, have put these up. And I might just have to. So we've got, and then there's another set. Look, again, legally distinct. They're Gribblies. But we got the one with the flashes jacket.
Oh, the flasher one.
That is brilliant.
And I just thought, yes. just but the outcome of that was no, I can't show my 6-year-old daughter. No, but Ken, you'll be happy because tonight, genuinely, she asked me, she went, Daddy, can we watch The Lord of the Rings? Like, she's 6. And I was like, we can, Tessa, but it's about 12 hours of
no. It's when she says, "Can we watch the special edition director's cut?" That's when you go,
yes. I do remember when Imogen was about that age, she was fascinated by the Urukai. She used to sit and just watch them. It was like, should she really be watching this at 6?
Did you explain that all the roaring is Peter Jackson just took the microphone to a cricket match? It's the Barmy Army, isn't it? You make all the growls.
Oh, is it?
All the orc noises of the Barmy Army, like burping and roaring into microphones. And then the ring wraith shrieks, or his wife had a throat infection. And he got her to. She had this really kind of weird thing, so he got her to scream into a microphone while she was ill, and that was the shrieking. I'll tell you what. I'll take the Reconquer stuff.
Go on, then you do that.
You do it. So the Reconquer Designs, which is the guy that I got that cavalryman, he's put up his releases. So this is, I can't even read that. It's a king on the throne.
King on the throne with a young princess.
I'm going to put the thing I like last, but he has put up just more archers. I'm going to put it up now. It's the siege.
Have you thought that?
Just
no,
ridiculous.
Maybe not. But he's done the siege tower, and then so that can be. He's done that at 15 and 28, but obviously you can you can scale it. But it comes with so many different things you can stick on it. But each of those levels is removable. So he made it so depending on how high the walls are that you've got in your set, you can just get different sizes. And then these are the guys that go on it to be going up the ladders. So this is what I was thinking about to go in your boat. You got those archers could go in the forecastle. You've got guys who could go up the rigging. There they are at the top.
But again, that's effort.
And then these guys who I am going to be getting. Now these are meant to be 12th century military orders, so early Templars, Hospitallers, or I can't remember the name. Is it the Knights of St. I want to say James, the Spanish military order. But I think these would do for just like some wealthy knight who's gone on crusade in the first crusade, and he's bringing along, he's just kitted out his men. And there's that guy there, going off to war, which I like.
Yeah, that's a really cool mini.
Saint, is Saint Raimundo with an injured brother knight. So yeah, I quite liked those. I do want. But I have to print. I have to print Jerusalem before, or I say print or build or whatever. I have to get Jerusalem before. I can't just have a siege tower rolling around the back. Well, I suppose Steve, you could turnip that, mate.
I could turnip that. As soon as I saw that,
you could stick moss all over that, and then you could have a what's the cannon called in turnip? A spud gun. You could have a spud gun on the top of that.
Oh, it's a
oh no, not a spud gun. It's a stump gun.
Gun.
Yeah, not a spud gun. Oh, it should be a
spud gun.
That just reminds me of bottom.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the section of the news I'll take because
awesome.
Because Don went nuts.
I actually got myself a bit organised and found them all this time, whereas normally I see them and I don't remember to take a screen grab of them. So this time I did. What about you, Steve? I know you highlighted something. I know you did. These you did.
Oh yes.
Oh, I've missed those.
So is that North Star?
I just thought it was really uncanny because a couple of days before I saw these, I watched The Last of the Mohicans. And all of a sudden, I saw these on Facebook. They look so nice.
Can I just say though, right? My unit of I would buy these and have them as a unit of long rifles in muskets and tomahawks, and my unit of long rifles that I already have do jack shit. So, but they are very nice, and
they're superb, aren't they? I don't need any more in my army, but I'm gonna have to get those because they look so damn good.
I would actually consider buying them just to paint because they just look so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's North Star.
Metal miniatures. What, Dom? I'm going to go and lie down a bit. What's wrong with me?
I think you protest too much about metal. That's all I'm saying.
Make sure I've got a temperature or something.
Steve, is that
my
package
God.
I sent you turned up yet?
No.
Of course it hasn't.
Just what I'd ask.
What about you, Ken? Did you say anything?
No, I
know you saw this one.
Yeah, I did. I saw the Atlantic.
Peasants.
The War Games Atlantic. Yeah, peasants. So the civilians are their theme for December for War Games Atlantic. So there's still like little bit of civilian heads and stuff like that. I think they're quite cool. Use them as like, peasants. Just mix them in, can't you? Really?
I was going to point out that works in progress bit sounds a little bit dodgy to me.
Female parts next, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going X-ray.
The Reconquer stuff is what I saw. Very excited about that.
Yeah.
Awesome. What else? There were quite a lot of other stuff I saw. So Great Escape talked about they're expanding out their Hungarian, Italian, and Distillery teams.
Did their Kickstarter finish?
Do you know?
Was that the Norwegians?
Norwegians, yeah. I think it must have done.
They. Oh, tell a lie. There was something I saw actually. Do you know those fins I've got? They've done summer versions of those. So it's not just the winter, so you can get like the early stage of the Winter War, the first part.
Okay.
So you can get them in summer uniform now. So I bought them as well.
Of course you did. Awesome. There's some more 3Ds coming. This is some ACW figures.
They're going to be absolutely battered in the chat if they're drinking.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll keep them going with some more. This is Studio Historica. These are Chinese World War II miniatures. They've even got a face mark on the horse.
Dom, that horse has got turnip 28
everywhere,
all over it. Oh, I mean, I get rid of the rider and I put a.
I don't think you need to do much to turn that into a turnip, really, do you?
No,
it looks like one already, but it is genuinely a historical figure. Apparently.
Oh my God!
I thought you'd like that one. Just V&V Miniatures. They unveiled their new Snelly range, which look really, really good indeed. Look at that.
That is very cool. I imagine that's available through Carl at Mezzers.
It will be available through Carl.
Yeah,
a friend of the channel, Carl. Check him out. Mezzers Miniatures. I think he had the deal going through November, didn't he? But he'll have all these figures as well. But they do look good. Although I do think that elephant does look a bit too happy.
It does, doesn't it? Well, I mean, he's about to crush a Roman. Why would he be cheerful?
True.
That is very. It does. That is Dumbo. I'm sorry.
It is Dumbo. We'll keep him on that view because he looks a bit more.
I mean, to be fair, like, if you're trying to make the Roman feel a little bit better just before he crushes that shield into his.
I love it. What else we got? Let's do these next. So I put these up on.
Oh yes.
Ooh.
So this is Glenn.
Yes.
From War Bases. He's started his own. Well, he's starting his own range now of. Was it the Black Sheep? Is the
Black Sheep? Hang on, I've got the little thing here on the sheet. Here you go.
Make sure you get it right.
We got. No, it's here. Look. Black Sheep Miniatures. There we go. There's the. And we ran into him at Warfare, didn't we?
We did.
And
he very kindly.
Steve didn't make the effort to travel all the way to the south coast.
I'm such an amateur. It's unbelievable. Oh, fly by night, honestly.
He has no dedication at all. So you got
very nice.
Banditos.
Yeah, I love the guy.
Sorry, I'll go back.
The model at the bottom left, who's actually the only time I see where someone's kneeling is actually using two hands to aim
on the pistol
in a western. All the Great Escape games, so Dead Man's Hand Miniatures. I just love that one. Who's actually taken the time to take a shot
aim properly.
Yeah.
So he's got those. He's got the Prospectors that look amazing as well. They look really, really clever. And then what are they? Vacuteurs. They look good. I do like those. Bank Robbers.
They look ace.
I love the guy with the full gimp mask. That's brilliant.
He's done about is it six
And
sets,
bandits.
six or seven
One,
sets,
two,
isn't he?
three, 6 or 7, but they're I think he hasn't told us exactly when they're going to go on sale, but I think he's getting them painted up at the moment, ready for
he's waiting for the painted ones.
I'd probably imagine hopefully be this side of Christmas. Hopefully,
yeah.
So follow War Bases if you're interested in any of those. If you follow their Facebook page, I'm sure Glenn
all Black Sheep,
correct. He's got his own page. He's got his own. And finally, for me, the Gits.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at those. Absolutely amazing gorillas.
I mean, they do have Shakos and Bayonets. You know, this is what I think of for Shakos and Bayonets, the kind of guerrilla warfare, you know, and that kind of stuff. You know, like, again, that not Austro-Hungarian. What the hell am I talking about? The Tyrolean Revolt. You know, that's the kind of thing I think for that level of game. So these would be awesome for a force in that.
And then he's got some Spanish sort of militia type troops as well.
God, I need me some trousers like that.
It's Christmas soon, Steve. We can have a whip round.
It can be sorted, Steve. But I did love, these are just the greens, obviously, but I did love these mounted gorillas. I've never seen mounted gorillas before.
That is cool. That is cool. Is he lobbing a spear?
Yeah, it looks like he is. Yeah, he's lobbing a spear. You could put a French tricolor on it, couldn't you? And then you could be sticking it in a Frenchman. Brilliant. I love this guy with the captured Busby as well. Sorry, did I say that? We're allowed to say that now because we're playing them in the World Cup, aren't we? So it's all good. You can be anti-French or you like. So absolutely amazing figures, as usual, from the Perrys. Buggers. So there you go. I think that was everything. There was plenty of it.
Paul said how some of the Banditos got bolt action rifles. Let me look.
It's saying about.
Don't think so.
That's a repeater.
They're repeaters.
They're just repeaters. They're repeaters, mate. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I think they're all shotguns and just regular rifles, I think, and repeaters.
Alex has definitely answered your question about the gorillas.
Is that a yellow card, everybody? What do you think? I don't know.
It depends if we're talking about the original or the Tim Burton one, or the one that came out recently.
I don't know. Awesome. Well, let's get back to our guests. So, Paul, there's a few questions come in from people as we've been going. I think I've caught most of them, but if I haven't, sorry, we'll try and pick up more as we go along. So, Panzer Kaput says, what was the first stuff that you sculpted?
First up was Sassanid infantry with chainmail conversions. They never saw the light of day because they were rubbish. I think they said, yeah, well, that's very nice, we'll pay for those, and they never got produced because they weren't very good at all.
Love it. I mean, how long does it take you? I mean, it must take, like every other job, it takes a while to get you kind of, get it all sorted and get it right. I mean, how long did it take you to sort of go, yeah, I'm happy with that? Or do you still go your figures today and go, yeah, I could have done a little bit better there? Or
No, I'm always very critical of my figures. There's always it used to be there'd be one figure in the pack that I was really seemed to sculpt itself, while the others were like a real to get them how I wanted them to look was a real chore.
Mm-hmm.
Was at the start, then it was like a couple of figures, then it was maybe one figure in the pack that didn't come out as well as you'd hoped, but you thought you'd done as best as you could. Now it's I'm probably happy with all of them, but again, when you see them maybe in a photo later on, you go, oh, could I have done that a bit better maybe? You know, obviously I don't send stuff out that I'm not happy with. But sometimes you look at the figure and you think, oh, okay, maybe I need to make sure I look at that in the future. Just keep an eye on things.
I guess it is one of those things, though, that if you ever said that's perfect, there'd be something wrong somehow, wouldn't it? You've always got to have something to bring you back.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll look over because in front of me here, this is my studio. Well, I call it studio. It's a shed at the bottom of the garden, but I've got lots of my old figures that I use to make new ones. And sometimes I'll pick a figure out and I may have made about 5 years ago and look at the face and go, that's probably one of the best faces I've made. And I'll keep it out just to make sure I will keep up to that standard. So there's things like that that's keeps you in check every now and again. Sometimes the figures seem to, as soon as you put the putty on the figure, it seems you know that it's going to work, and then sometimes you put it on and you just think, oh, this ain't going to happen. It's not gonna. I'm going to have to start again. I've just looked at one figure I've been making. I think no, I'm going to have to redo all of that side of the figure. Because it's not worked.
Talking about kicking back to the old days, Richard says, I remember working with Paul at GW Harrow and he sculpted an amazing giant. There you go.
Oh, right, yeah. Hi, Richard. Yeah, it's here, actually. That is probably one of the first things I sculpted. Oh, there it is.
No.
Oh, blimey.
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is cool.
That is
No,
brilliant.
I can't work cameras out.
Actually, that's just...
Is there any miniatures that you sculpt, Paul, and you just keep?
Why make me? Why make me?
I thought you were the giant for a minute. I was
Definitely not a giant.
I was going to say, is there any minis that you sculpt, Paul, that you keep to yourself? They're just for you? Or do you just do it commercially? No.
No. Is there any I've made for myself? No, not really. Every now and again, I have thought, oh, I'd like to make that. After watching Andor, all I've wanted to do is sculpt Imperial officers, but apart from that, it's finding the time.
Yeah.
It's more taken up of painting and making Spitfires for some bizarre reason.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Something I sort of picked up over lockdown was making Airfix kits. That's kind of taken over.
Nice. I'll have to ask this question because Mike has asked it about 3 times. So apologies, Mike. We just get around to it. Any news on the charity James and the AI figure miniatures?
Oh yeah. We're they're all cast. The AI is Al Murray. It's James Holland and Al Murray. They do a podcast called We Have Ways of Making You Talk.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. And I did. Al Murray has a charity very close to his heart, which is DKMS. It's a blood cancer charity. So I made a paratrooper with a peer because he goes on. That's his Market Gardens, his thing.
Big into that, isn't he?
Yeah. Peer and Market Gardens, his thing, and James Holland is Sherwood Rangers, so I did him as a yeomanry sort of armoured officer. I've got them here. We're just trying to do a bit of packaging, and then I'm sort of working with a mate, and we're just trying to get the packaging and a little card. So hopefully people will be able to go on the blood donating to make sure your bone marrow match.
It's a register, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's a register.
Yeah.
So we want a card to go with it. So they are made. There's going to be 200 of them, and once we're not going to release them again. But
right,
it'll be out on Twitter when they're released.
Excellent. Look out for that. That's brilliant.
So we'll put up a link in the group as well.
Yeah, send us a link when you're ready.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the group. Actually, you joined the group, didn't you? I saw. I think you're in the group.
Yes.
So feel free to post the link.
Yeah, post it whenever it's ready. Let us know. That'd be great.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah.
Shring asked the question: what would be your dream range to be commissioned for? Sounds like ACW, isn't it?
Yeah, ACW, yeah. I think that would be the dream range. I mean, one of them is British Paratroopers, which I'm working on at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my dream ranges are the one that's coming up next, because I get really enthused about the one that I'm just about to be. I think, like most people, the next project, regardless if it's painting a unit, is the one that you're enthused about. Not that I don't get infused about the work, if anyone's listening, obviously.
Apart from Andy's stuff, of course.
Yeah, unless it's Andy Hobday.
Yeah,
obviously. But yeah, I can get infused about quite a lot. I've got quite an extensive Osprey collection and book collection.
Tom's got one of those. Tom's got them. Massive.
If you ever need to borrow any, I've probably got them. Yeah.
So I'm quite fortunate. If someone says, "Here's a range," I can go and pick pictures up and go, "Oh yeah, that looks great. That looks great." You know, I can get quite infused pretty quickly about stuff.
I love this question from Paul. I remember buying some of your Empress miniatures a while back and feeling intimidated by them. I knew my painting wasn't up to the figures.
Oh,
I think that's really sweet. I mean, I know that feeling with some miniatures you get hold of, and you think, "Oh my goodness, I do not want to balls these up. They're too nice."
Oh, that's yeah. Well, I'm sorry they intimidated you, but it's a nice comment.
Do you get You do like to see your work? Some of the models painted up and being used
massively, because I work alone. I sit in my shed for 8 hours a day. And apart from seeing hairy ass people that I play rugby with during the week, I don't. Apart from Baron's War, because when the commissions go off and they go off to a company, I don't really get to a gauge of how many of those sold. Obviously, if they come back to me and they want more, then I obviously know that they're doing okay. With Baron's War, that's different because it's a Kickstarter. You can see that people are, excited and infused by what you'll produce because, it's done really well. But if I go to a show or, on Facebook and I see somebody is taking the time and their own money to buy something I've produced, and they felt it's worthy of their time and their money, well, that's a real privilege and a real honor, to be honest. That it's really gratifying, and it gives me the enthusiasm to produce more figures.
Yeah, because it can be. Imagine it would be quite easy just to sort of do it in isolation and not realize there's a whole world out there buying them and using them and playing with them every day, and it's great feeling.
I mean, every now and again, my daughter comes along to show, and then I'll go, "Oh, I've made that," and then she gets a real buzz out of that sort of. That's really nice to see.
You haven't got her into sculpting yet.
Oh no, we did. We've made a snowman and a penguin.
Nice.
Nice. And out of fire mode for a bauble competition at school. I think hopefully she might do a sculpt for £1. She might see that as really lucrative. So it could be really profitable for me. No, she's really infused. It's like most kids are. They they're quite infused by their parents.
Yeah.
Don't know how long that will last, but you know, it's yeah.
Yeah, it's like Don was saying, it's like your figures and stuff. You've obviously got you're well known. It's like people follow that, like you say, you love the Perry figure. People obviously love your figures and they look out for the next thing that you're personally doing. Does that ever hit you sometimes and you think, oh, people are waiting for me to sculpt the next thing? And it's like, that's really nice to have someone that's actually looking forward to just waiting for me to release something.
Oh, yeah, it's mind blowing that, you know, I don't know. I think we all have self doubts. I think we'd all be megalomaniacs if we didn't, in some way. So
Yeah,
you know, for somebody again to sort of comment and say I'm looking forward to what you're producing next is a buzz. You know, it's
yeah, of course it is.
Well,
there you go.
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. Yes, yeah. Pete's definitely a fanboy. Yeah. In a good way.
That's awesome. Actually, talking about Kickstarters, John asked the question, how has Kickstarter changed the way you work with companies?
Well, I've only really, I mean, Empress is the next one. Yeah, it's definitely given me, I don't know, a way to produce, or a way for a company to produce something pretty instantaneously. So it does give a company a way of being able to get everything made at the same time. Hopefully it'll continue, because it's a fun way of doing things, and also it's when the Kickstarters are happening as well, it gives you a bit of an impetus to make stuff while it's happening as well.
Yeah.
Because you with doing the Baron's War stuff, I've made the odd figure while it's happening, just to say, well, you know, thanks a lot. It's gone really well. I've just made this. We're gonna give it away as well.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's
because how many Kickstarters have done Baron's Wars? Is it 5,
4.
including the out?
Four,
Four.
Four, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, we're on. I think Andy's more. There's no two ways of putting it. Andy's definitely the brains behind the
or the slave driver behind it.
Slave driver, yeah.
The taskmaster, as I like to call him.
Yeah, but I think Baron's Ward now has become the taskmaster itself. And we have to
well, I guess you've got everyone enthusiastic about that sort of era.
They're riding that hype train, aren't they?
Yeah. Now what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? Come on, dance for me, monkey.
there is something that we want to explore. It's going to be, we want it to be compatible with what we've produced already, but it might not necessarily be human.
Oh, okay.
Weird shit alert.
Andy said it's like alarm from Andy if I'd said something out of, but you know, it's something we're looking into. You know, it might be fun, but we're definitely doing it so that. Yeah, I might have said too much.
We'll not let you dig your own more of a grave,
Andy. Fine.
Well, Andy has a little cold shower after all that. Let's move on. Oh, Ken wants to know. He said, he knows you do a lot of Brigade games. You mentioned it earlier, and they are fantastic. I've got a load of them as well. But do you know of any plans to have them to make them available in the UK? Because shipping them out from the US is a pain.
This is probably the most. I think I get asked this question more than I do about the figures I've sculpted for Brigade Games. Not that I know of. Lon is a one-man band. and he works for a company that tests chemicals. I don't know what. I think they do like cosmetic testing on, not on animals. Don't say nothing like that. Yeah. It's not like they're rubbing eye lotion in rabbits or anything. So he has that job, and he casts, and he does sometimes he's told me he's had like about 3 hours sleep after casting and sending stuff up. He works a busy schedule
life.
with, and I don't think he would be able to cope really with having to send stuff out to distributors as well. I don't know, to be honest. That would be something you need to speak to him about.
Yeah, I have to say, when I have ordered stuff from it comes pretty quickly, to be fair.
Can I just say, I knew this was going to come up when eye lotion and rabbits came up.
Oh, and apparently Andy's already told everybody, so you're okay to talk about it.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, you tell everyone what I've got to do.
All right. Oh, fantastic. What should we do? Casper says, any chance of doing any second Boer War?
Oh, can I just apologise to Casper? He copied me into some pictures on Twitter before to show, and I didn't get the notification until about 5 to 8. So, Casper, what I'll do is I'll retweet them on my Twitter account so people could see them.
Cool.
We can always put them up next week as well, because it's your week.
Yes.
I did do some boars for Empress, but that was more for the Zulu War range. So, yeah.
He hasn't told everyone. There you go. That's what he's saying. Excellent. Hang on. He's come in with something late. Pete thinks it's the Anarchy, but that's not the secret project. Oh dear! Oh my goodness! Here we go.
Paul, did you do the Naval Brigade Gatling gun for Empress for the Zulus?
Yeah, I did the crew. Again, the Gatling gun was in.
Right, that's what's coming. that's next. Oh, that's what that's what's I'm just finishing. Guess what I'm finishing? Another base of Zulus.
How many of them?
Thousands of them. Yeah.
Actually 12. But yes, the Gatling gun is next. So I've got one. This will be the first thing. I don't know why. The first thing that I've actually painted for the British forces will be a Gatling gun against the three units worth of Zulus that I've done. That seems fair, right?
I hope it performs better than the Gatling gun I used in against the Boxers, which probably jammed after one shot.
I don't know. I haven't finished your game yet because it's 3 hours long.
It is very, very long.
I'm loving it. You're insane cackling throughout the game. I
have to say, genuinely, it was the most fun I've had playing Sharp Practice in many, many years. It was so fun. Although people have now pointed out all the things I got wrong, but that doesn't matter. I enjoyed it. I mean, great game. Let's do another one. Mark says, what's the easiest scale to sculpt? Do you only do 28mm or do you do other scales?
Right, yeah. What have I done? I did some 20mm stuff for a few years ago for Empress. I did a 6-pounder crew. But I mean, I did do a 20mm figure to an RAF officer to go with my Spitfires, but that was about a year ago. But I do prefer to work in 28mm, but that's primarily because that's what I get asked to make. I think to change scale would now mean a different process, which might take a bit longer to produce, which would cost more to me, if you see what I mean. So it wouldn't. So primarily it's 28mm, so that would be the easiest for me.
Excellent. Let's do one more. Benjamin asked the question, is there any genre or time period you never want to sculpt again?
Ooh.
You've done it once and that's enough.
Oh, I don't know really. I've not really. No, because I think they're still all ongoing at the moment. I think pretty much. Oh, is there anything I haven't? No, not really. Because I think now once they're done, well, no, not really.
Perfect.
I expected French Napoleonic drummers, but that's just me. So.
That's just painting them, Steve.
That's just painting them. Everything to do with them just drives me
Napoleonic.
mad.
Yeah. Sorry.
I like to dabble in Napoleonics. That's another great thing working with Brigade. You know, it gives me a bit of freedom to make the odd thing that I want to. So yeah, all of that, all the fun stuff in the Napoleonics is great. You know, I just did some Mamluks for him recently, which were really good fun.
Oh, did you? Interesting.
Yeah.
We got Martin's ears up with that one.
I like Mamluks, yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a fearsome unit to paint. Cool.
Fearsome units to paint, not so fearsome on the battlefield. I just like to
no, not at all. But then that's your dicing more than the unit, isn't it?
Well, no, it's just one of those units that are so sort of gaudy and awesome looking that everyone's like, I'm going to shoot that with everything that I have.
Awesome. Right. We're into the last 15 minutes or so. Should we do some viewers' pictures? So reminder, every week we feature a few of the pictures from the Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
If you're not a member, please, there's a link in the description of this. So just sign up, answer the 3 little questions, which is just there to stop the spammers, honestly.
Dom's questions.
My questions. I asked. You always make such a big thing out of it.
If you try and join and it's one of us, we're just going to go, yeah, fine.
Yeah, what the hell? We'll have it.
No, answer the question. No, answer the question. Because if not, he shouts at us.
I do. We're up to 845 people, so
we are. Yeah, no, we're closing in on 1,000. So, which is awesome.
Thousands of them.
Which is cool considering it's been going not even 2 years, and it's just off the back of the podcast. So that's awesome. But we've got some things coming for the group actually, but that's for 2023. While you're talking, I'll upload. Oh yeah, sorry. So Dom knows. Yeah. I've told you. No, I didn't tell Ken because Ken can't keep his. We don't tell you anything. She can't keep.
No, we don't tell Ken because we
genuinely don't tell you anything.
Because he'll go, "Oh, do you want to know a secret?" And he'll tell everybody.
I know.
Anyway, let's show some of the pictures that people have been working on. So, reminder: it's not everything. Please go and have a look on the Facebook page. There's some awesome work there, but it's just a selection. So, thanks to everybody who posted. I'm going to start with Don's Scottish figures. This is John Stewart.
Yes, flags of war as well. He said that, but can I just say, because I have I think if he was, I have a perpetual fear of painting yellow, and that is awesome. I hate painting yellow, but that is awesome. So the fact he's got it on there and on the horse as well on that is wicked.
It's superb, isn't it? Absolutely superb. Oh, and John says, "Careful, Paul. That's how it starts. You dabble in Napoleonics, maybe paint a red coat. And next thing you know."
I have done French Napoleonics before, so.
Can I just say about Don's picture though? I'm just surprised it's not a 40k dreadnought after.
Yeah, actually,
that's
his
winner.
Obviously, Ken didn't obviously rewatch the stream for the part he missed last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but no, fantastic stuff.
Awesome stuff. Gavin showing off his, I think the 79th Highlanders.
Oh, they're
which
nice.
Full marks to anybody who does Highlanders. Very good indeed.
They're really, really nice, but they still give me palpitations when I see tartan again.
It's just tartan paint, isn't it? It's easy.
Absolutely.
Steve is heading down the Skelly Bub route with you, Steve. Look at that.
Yeah, I saw these. These are they're Mantic, and they are so. I've been painting 2 Mantic Skelly tonight.
I love the guy at the back with the axe at the top of his head. It's just awesome. Just awesome.
Steve, do you need more Mantic skeletons? Because I found like sprues loads.
No, I've reached the end of what I need them for. So I only needed them for some kind of veteran unit and 2 bodyguards, my necromancer. Do you know what? I think I'm going to be just all undead painted out by the end of this month. I think I'm going to have issues.
Can you use some ghosts? Can you use ghosts for anything? I've got. Do you remember the ones that the Warhammer did that came off the front of that magazine?
Yes. Let me check the army list of the book, and I'll get
because
back to you.
If I send them to you now, you might get them by next year. Maybe.
Maybe.
Or I might get them so I can put them on the Antiques Roadshow in about 45 years' time. So.
Get ready with your Vimto, folks, because there's another 3D reference coming up. These are Steve's 3D Romans.
I love these. These are the ones that we showed off a few weeks ago. Cromarty Forge. I love these models. I love the front rank. You see where they're raising the shields.
Yeah.
Enemies. So yeah, these are 3D printed, but they are very, very cool. I do like them.
They are insanely good. Wow.
Seriously lovely.
An amazing paint job, may I add.
Yeah. And this
so, Dom, what's that, Dom?
I have absolutely no idea.
That is from the Troll Bloods from Hordes.
Yes.
Oh, I knew that. What didn't you say?
Is. I know it looks big, but it's bigger than you think it is. It's awesome, but look at the work on the skin.
Yeah,
blending work that is cool. I mean, that would just be awesome to have in a cabinet, like just as a just a painted piece. Like, but that,
yeah.
I mean, I'd be scared to move that around the battlefield.
No, you don't.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Nathan, and he's working on his Luke Skywalker stuff.
Oh, nice.
I love it how he's got he's got Vader, then Anakin, then Luke, like next to each other. So you've got Luke and Anakin, like, you know, and then you've got Vader. So
awesome stuff. And these I love. This is Kevin's Prussian battery. I mean, just cool. Look at that.
Awesome. Very, very nice.
Really, really good. Kerry sent these in honor of our guest. Some Polish Morawski miniatures.
Yeah, Polish.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah.
That you sculpted, I believe.
Yeah, I did. About 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years ago, just when we moved here. Yeah.
I've got some of those in the stash of opportunity that I need to paint, so they must come out and get done.
What haven't you got in the stash of opportunity?
I've got loads in there. It's lots of opportunity, Ken. You know that.
Yeah,
Andy, first time on the Facebook page, posted these Congo figures.
Oh,
cool. Which is
very nice.
Really cool as well.
I forgot all about Congo. No, it was a game that I think, remember Ken, the eccentric man. I think he played a couple of games.
Ken played a few, didn't he? Yes, yeah. I remember watching his videos.
See, I'm looking at those and I'm thinking about the game that ported at Paul Pally.
Paul, yeah, they'd be perfect. Yes,
because I absolutely loved that game. It was so cool, and it's very much influenced the a couple of things with what I'm doing. That is very, very cool.
And these I had to put up because I couldn't believe these are 15 mil. This is Sean.
Wow, really?
Winter German.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They're
15 mil.
That's nice.
Wow.
That's extraordinary.
Who's painted those?
Sean.
Wow.
15 mil Winter Germans.
Wicked.
They look 28, don't they?
They look
do.
28. They just
look at the
wow.
P dot. Is that the P dot on the trousers? Or what?
Can't believe he's done them like that. It's just extraordinary work.
Well, I feel suitably inadequate now.
Yeah.
I think we all do, to be honest. But talk about inadequate. Look at this as well. This is Ian's.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and that's great as well. He posted a whole range of pictures. So I just picked up this one because I particularly like this of some French artisans.
I saw that one. It looks cool, doesn't it?
Really, really nice. Phil showing off his British
lovely
7th arm. Yeah, look at those.
Sweet.
I do like a Matilda.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Matilda.
You do like a Matilda.
Gotta love a Matilda.
Useless gun, but amazing armor.
Who can't love a Matilda?
Yeah, no, lovely bit of kit.
And I apologize now. We're heading into serious weird shit. Stephen, I have no idea what that's just cool. What the heck?
Santa Bones. It's Santa Bones.
That reindeer reminds me of like some of the stray dogs we saw in Derby when we were out.
Those weren't dogs.
No, absolutely not.
That reindeer is genuinely disturbing.
I've got a reindeer in front of me actually. I need to paint him actually for the fin.
It's just the weirdest thing.
And
And it gets worse. So, and Andy, I wasn't going to show this, but Andy, because he did the last minute thing and then highlighted the fact it was the last minute thing, but I put it up anyway.
Oh yes, this is his.
lovely.
He can't stop painting Tyranids, can he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that Tyranids.
They are very cool. I really like what he's done with the sort of the carapace armor, the red.
Yeah.
I figured. I mean, he did.
Makes it
Didn't
pop,
he say that they look like Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah. I don't like to think what he does at Christmas, but bloody hell.
It's good seeing G-Steelers painted in that sort of I could say an alternative color scheme with the
It's normally purple all the time, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
and,
always purple.
contrast really well with that the red carapace and the claws. Lovely.
Really cool. And then finally, brace yourself because this got an instant red card on the Facebook page. This is Jonas.
It's going to make me happy, I reckon.
I know what this is.
Externipate.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What is that coming out of what's that coming out of the barrel? What's the red stuff? It's like it's in a rose. Yeah,
Isn't that a Dalek gun?
yeah, it's a Dalek gun, but the end of it looks like one of them squirty fake roses that he's going to try and
Or carnation. It's walking along with a carnation.
Or a plunger.
It sure is. Paul, have you heard? Just before we get this, have you heard of Turnip 28 and this what they're doing? Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so we'll hand you over just briefly to Steve,
Our Turnip correspondent.
Steve, can you please see your elevator pitch for Turnip 28?
Why I think it's awesome.
No, just what it is.
What the heck it is. Explain to me.
Right, very quickly. So Turnip 28, it's a game being developed by an artist called Max Fitzgerald. It's set 1,000 years after the Battle of Austerlitz. A giant root has taken over the earth. Nothing grows. Everything's poisoned. The people on Earth now eat this root. They harvest it, but it causes hallucinations and mutations, and they've got tufts and roots growing out of them. It's set in a county somewhere in Europe called Sist, and all these there's different cults, and they spend their time kicking the crap out of each other in the mud.
Right.
And you should be very grateful, Paul, that you only do metal figures and not plastic, because otherwise he would be doing something very unmentionable to your figures, like he does to the Perrys on a regular basis.
If he pays the money.
Fair point. Oh dear. Right, we are at time just about. So, Paul, actually, before you go, anything you're working on particularly at the moment that you want to highlight? That you mentioned the Empress Kickstarter in the new year. Anything else that's coming up?
Yeah, sort of. Time is spent doing British Airborne at the moment, so that's exactly what I'm doing at the present moment. So that's going to take up my time for the next couple of weeks, and then I think me and Andy might have something in the pipework. I'm not sure. So keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter, I think.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It's what all the kids say, isn't it?
That's what they say.
Well,
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
It's been brilliant.
Thank you very much.
It's been awesome, Paul. Thank you.
Really, really good
Cheers,
indeed.
Paul. Really enjoyed that.
Oh,
And
thank you. No, so did I. It was great fun.
Good stuff. Well, you're welcome back anytime you want, and by all means, post stuff in the Facebook page because we'd love
Will
to see
do.
what you're working on. Because it's
So now we're gonna have to get Andy on to counter the pool.
Oh, there you go.
Andy back. We're going around.
We can get the two of them on and watch them just go at each other.
Or if you want to
Hang on. What kind of video is this?
you can always do a live reveal of your project on our show.
There we go.
And there's business Ken.
There's the business head coming out.
We've got in the Facebook, so we have our December menu coming up because you only have 2 streams left now before the Christmas break.
Season 4.
Season 4. So next week we're over with Steve on Point HQ, who's going to be doing your 2023 hobby resolutions that none of us are going to stick to, but we all have good intentions. We'll also have the OPC for November will be over there as well. And then afterwards, we've got the 2022 Crackpot Awards, which you can still vote on, right?
You've got about 24 hours or not even that, probably about 12 hours to vote on the Crackpot Awards. So I'll put the link down below. But please do. We've had a lot of respondents, over 100.
And remember, if you didn't vote, you can't complain.
Exactly.
So, which is what my mother tells me quite a lot. And then the last, and then I'm going to bring that back up.
Sorry, I just deleted it.
The show. So you'll see, because last show of the year will be our Crackpot Awards. The 26th, what you're doing, you should be eating and getting drunk. And the first show of season 4, which will be Ken, because he's getting out of doing one in December, will be on Monday.
Won't be me. That's my birthday.
So, is that your birthday? It absolutely will be you.
Because mate, fantastic!
Absolutely.
My birthday's
so
the 8th,
we're having.
He's lying about his birthday now. God,
he's lying about his age, and he's the youngest one here.
Outrageous. There's no end to his. No end to it. Anyway, we are there. Thank you, everybody watching. Thanks, everyone, once again watching on the catch up. We will see you next week. Thanks to Paul. Fantastic to have you on. Thank you very much indeed. And have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.